Hey everyone, Spirited Drop from the back of a taxi. It's Friday afternoon, Friday. I hope you've had a good week and you're looking forward to the weekend. I am heading back from a full day of training Sui Reiki level 2. Okuden is the Japanese name. I'm probably murdering that Japanese. But it means inner teachings or hidden teachings. It's the second degree of a Sui Reiki. And so after this level, which involves the way that I do it, 3 attunements, lots of teaching, lots of energy practice. Once the students have settled in and stabilized the Reiki with 2 to 3 weeks of self-treatments and meditations, they are able to open their doors as certified energy healers. So it's a really big step for these guys. Like, a lot of people will do level 1 because they're interested in learning about Reiki and giving it to themselves and their loved ones, and then but then others, really do feel the draw to energy healing and offering energy healing to others. And so there's a different level of commitment by the time we get to level 2, and which I really enjoy working with, and a lot more. There seems to be more energy. They've already been initiated in Reiki, so the attunements are much more powerful, and it's just really enjoyable because they're running Reiki as well, so they've got much more in-depth questions around it, which of course I love. So but what I wanted of note as well, and this is true of all the levels of Reiki, when you're in a Reiki, you're learning, or like me, if you're teaching, is just how pooped you are at the end of it. Now, ostensibly, if you're sort of looking in through the window, it just looks like a group of people and their teacher seated mostly, and doing some energy practices and so on. But always by the end of each day, like, I feel really pooped now, and we did have and the students say so as well. So I'll go home and probably have a half-hour sleep, and then I'll get up and have some dinner, and I'll have an early night. And the students always report that as well. And so what's going on there? So when we are working in the energy arts and we're having these really rich and beautiful discussions, we're actually operating in a slightly altered state of consciousness. And when our brain, and it's not just the brain that is, but the brain facilitates the experience of consciousness. When we're in altered states, the brain uses way more calories now, and that's why we're tired and often quite hungry after any kind of training in the energy arts. And I first learnt this when I went to the Arthur Finlay College, which is a residential that I go to every year, to deepen my mediumship. And it's like a really old school British college. So they serve up these 3 massive cooked meals every day, which is usually way more than I would eat normally in a day. But every single meal I'm starving. Every single meal I eat the whole thing really quickly. And it was a hypnotist friend of mine that explained to me, because I remember going, why am I eating so much and I'm always hungry? And she said, because we're doing so much work in altered states. Like, Arthur Finlay College, it's 5 lectures a day. We start the day with a really long meditation, and then we're just basically doing psychic and mediumistic exercises all day until we go to bed, so we're burning heaps of calories. So I thought that's quite interesting, isn't it? And I'm certainly feeling it now after a day of teaching level 2 Reiki, and I know the students were looking pretty tired. They were pleased that we called it today, but we're back in for a full day tomorrow. And anyway, I hope that's got you thinking. And if you're interested in learning traditional Sui Reiki or intuitive healing, I've got 2 slightly different versions of energy healer certification. Get in touch. Thank you, everyone. Bye.